Fresh off the heels of a holiday weekend, the prosecution calls its next witness to the stand, Capricorn Clark. Clark is a former employee of Diddy, who started at Bad Boy Records in 2004. She worked for Diddy until 2020. The prosecution questioned Clark about an incident in which Diddy threatened her. Clark testified she was walking through Central Park with Diddy and his head of security, Uncle Paulie, one night, when Diddy revealed he knew Clark had previously worked for Suge Knight. Clark testified Diddy told her that since she had worked for Suge, if anything happened, he might have to kill her. Clark said she took the threat very seriously. Clark testified that she had previously seen Diddy with a firearm while he was in her home. She also said Diddy told his manager that he was having issues with 50 Cent. Clark said, Mr. Combs told Chris Lighty he had a gun. He had a problem with 50 Cent. Clark also testified someone once threatened to throw her into the East River for stealing. She said she was tasked with bringing 3 pieces of high-end jewelry to Teterboro Airport, but the jewelry went missing. Clark said she was questioned for 3 hours about the missing jewelry and was forced to take a lie detector test. She testified that she arrived at an NYC building she didn't recognize, and a large man threatened to throw her into the East River if she failed the test. Diddy's former assistant George Kaplan testified last week that he was also accused of stealing and forced to take lie detector tests on 2 occasions. Clark testified she often worked 20-hour days while employed by Diddy, which caused her to develop hair loss and a stress condition. She testified she typically worked from 7 a.m. to 4 a.m. for a $55,000 salary. Her job consisted of making sure he was fed, accompanying him to the studio, picking up his dry cleaning, and more. Clark also said she did not get paid overtime, although the head of HR provided her with paperwork proving that Diddy owed her $80,000. AUSA said, "How did Mr. Combs respond?" Clark responded, "He ripped up the paper." Prosecutors began questioning Clark about Diddy's hotel stays. Clark testified she was also responsible for setting up hotel rooms, which he typically stayed in with Kim Porter once a week. Clark said part of her job was to set up the hotel rooms, with supplies including a camera, bottles of baby oil, lube, and drugs such as ecstasy. Clark also testified Diddy would book weekly hotel rooms for himself and Cassie, where they would use IV drips for several days to help them recover from drug use. Diddy once forced Cassie to move at his command in front of other women. Clark testified that in the presence of herself and 2 other women, Diddy called for Cassie and gave her various commands such as walk over there, sit down, turn around, etc. Once Cassie obeyed the commands, Diddy turned to the other women and stated, "You bees won't do that. That's why you don't have a man." Clark said she responded with, "You're mother-loving, right?" Clark testified she was asked to obtain drugs for Diddy. She said that during a trip to the south of France, Diddy asked her to get cocaine. When Clark asked who the drugs were for, Diddy responded, "Not me." Clark said she obtained the cocaine through a security guard and testified Diddy had her retrieve prescription drugs in her name, which he would pay for. Capricorn Clark broke down in tears while testifying about a 2006 incident at Diddy's home in Star Island. She said Diddy pushed her multiple times, trying to force her out of the house, after a chef cursed at her for asking if they had turkey bacon in the residence. Clark responded, "I hate it here," and the chef told Diddy. Clark testified Diddy forcibly shoved her again and again, saying, "If you hate it here, get the F out of here." Clark said she quit her job, but later returned to the company to work for Cassie. Clark, who managed Cassie's image and career moves, testified she took Cassie to purchase a burner phone once she learned Cassie was dating Kid Cudi. She said Cassie told her about the relationship via text, which was a bad idea because Diddy paid for both of their phones. Clark said they went to Best Buy to get the new phone because she feared Cassie was going to get us all killed. Capricorn Clark testified about the morning of December 22, 2011. She said Diddy banged on her apartment door holding a firearm and asking questions about Kid Cudi. She said Diddy was visibly furious after finding out about Cudi and Cassie and said, "Get dressed. We're going to kill this naga." Clark said she didn't want to go, and Diddy replied, "I don't give a F what you want. Get dressed," Clark said. Once they arrived to Cudi's home, Diddy and his security guard Ruben entered the house through the front door. Clark said she was left in the car, so she called Cassie on her burner phone to alert her. Cassie was with Cudi at the time. Clark said Diddy came back to the car, took her phone, and called the last number on her call history. Clark said, "He took my phone and called the last number. Then I saw Cudi driving up. Mr. Combs saw my face and said, 'There's that Naga right there.' We drove off and saw police driving the other way toward Cudi's house." Clark testified Diddy ordered her to call Cassie and tell her that Diddy had me and wouldn't let me go until Cassie arrived. Clark said Cassie agreed and asked her to pick her up. Once Clark picked Cassie up, she said they both went to Diddy's house. He allegedly told them not to speak to the police and asked them to convince Kid Cudi to not tell the police he was involved in the break-in. Capricorn said that after she and Cassie arrived at Diddy's home, he repeatedly kicked and beat Cassie. Clark tearfully testified she saw Diddy come at Cassie 100% full force, kicking her in the back while she was in fetal position. Clark said Diddy told her, "If you jump in, I'm going to F you up." She added that Diddy's security guards did not intervene. Clark said she called Cassie's mom, Regina Ventura, to alert her about the abuse. Clark, "He's beating the shit out of your daughter. I'm in over my head. Please help her. I can't call the police, but you can." Following the break-in, Cudi's car was set on fire. Clark testified she was contacted by the arson investigators, but hung up because she just wanted this to be over. Clark said Diddy questioned her about how much she knew about Cassie and Cudi's relationship, and Diddy allegedly said, "I should kill you, Beezus." Before taking a break, Clark testified that Diddy fired her. She said that while she was accused of not properly putting in her vacation time, she believed she was fired due to not informing Diddy about Cassie and Cudi's relationship. Clark said she lost everything, including her health insurance, 401k, her house, and her car. Clark said Diddy told her she would never work again, and he would make her kill herself.
"I know you're frustrated, but this was a hell of a hole for me. No, it was a hell of a hole. I'm happy for you. No, we brothers. Don't get this. Don't. This is God. This is how I was. No, please. No. Yo, Paul, no, this. Yo.
Man, I ain't going to lie, man. Her testimony is very interesting. I understand Diddy not trusting her because she was a part of Suge Knight team. And, Diddy and Suge Knight had some serious issues. You know what I mean? So I understand that he could look at her like someone who was capable of doing harm, right? But he know that she could get the job done, but he didn't trust her. I understand that, right? But as I said, man, and this is what I always say, I will never understand Diddy, abusing Cassie. If a woman don't want to be with you or she want to go outside of your relationship or whatnot, man, you should not harm her. It's better for you to leave her. Let her go. Like you're Diddy. You can get almost any woman in the world at that time. No, a lot of women wouldn't want to be with you, only gold diggers. But I mean, at that time, Diddy, you could get any woman, man. So I can never ever support you for abusing Cassie. But I can understand when you don't trust, people. That's normal for you not to trust people. Because I mean, you got to be careful, right? But all the time when it be, abusing people, man, like, nah. Sending threats, that's something that many people do. So I ain't gonna say, I'm gonna, send him to jail for sending threat. Come on now, we all send threat to people at times, man. Right? People do some shit to you you don't like, you send a threat. That's normal. Not saying that you should do it, but that's something that all of us has done in some point of our lives. So if we're going to say send him to jail for sending threat, well, all of us should be in jail. You know what I mean? Just being real, because I got to be real. I got to be real, man. I can't be just saying what you want here. I'm going to tell you the truth. So for Diddy abusing Cassie and all, that's wrong. Diddy going at Kid Cudi for being with Cassie, that's wrong. If she want to be with Kid Cudi, let her be with Kid Cudi. Don't abuse her. If you don't want to trust your assistant, that's okay. But don't be abusing them, man. You know what I mean? That's what's up, my people. So it is T-Master, man. Remember to drop a like and subscribe. Let me know how you feel about this in the comments, man. Thank you for watching. See y'all later.